All right, chat. So we were talking about the Bow situation, and I decided to look up the entirety video of this by the one and only. They just mad because I got the Midas touch. Is that a world tour or your girl's tour? This ain't what she meant when she told you to open up. Okay, sorry. But yeah, Midas rant around offline VTuber conventions and the strange mindset of peers. Let's watch this.
Industry this year was probably my biggest disillusionment with Offkai. How do I put it? First off,
it's a big word, Jesus.
I got to meet quite a few dudes. I got to meet quite a few you guys. There was an unofficial dinner that I crashed, and that was pretty great. Got to eat some food, talk some shit. It was lovely. But other than that, funny. I did do my best to keep out of the line of sight of those who wished not to. Now, Offkai was interesting for a few reasons. There was a lot of VTubers there this year, which is like, it's all Offkai. Of course there's VTubers at Offkai. You'd be surprised at...
I didn't know that was it really that weird? I mean, I went because... Well, first of all, I went because my friends were coming in. We're going to it. And I was like, sure, I'll come hang out, right? This is going to be... We're not going to TwitchCon this year, so it's like, I might as well go to Offkai. You know, we got an Airbnb. I haven't actually talked about my trip, have I? I don't think I have. I've just told you guys that I went. And we hung out, basically, right? Obviously, we stayed in an Airbnb together. I seen people I recognize. I know one person I saw that I recognized. Not in a good way, right? There's beef there. I don't like them. It's what it is.
People's reactions to there being VTubers at Offkai. I don't mean virtually, and I don't mean as merch, but I mean physically.
I seen, okay, this is a really funny picture. I won't be able to find it because I can't search it up on Twitter. But if anyone's seen that picture of the line of cameras or the little drones going around and people were like, this is where the VTuber get together, quote unquote, is going to, we see it in progress now. I seen some of them. I feel like I didn't see a lot of the little Roombas, right? I feel like I should have seen more, especially at something like Offkai.
And that's because Offkai has gained significant industry importance for its actual industry connections. And y'all might go...
I didn't know that. Sorry. So like I said, guys, this is like my VTuber channel, right? This is where I do VTuber stuff. I didn't really know that because I don't know much about VTubing industry, right? I mean, there's obviously going to be people there like Phase Connect and some other stuff, and then there's gonna be a bunch of booths with, I'm assuming, stuff that people can, I don't know, make connections with. I guess, I mean, I do understand that because I did the same thing at Anime Expo, just not for that. I did it for gacha games, right? Because obviously my main account is gacha games. There was an insane amount of gacha games at Offkai. Or at Anime Expo, so I went and I talked to the teams, and, you know, I got to meet up with the NTE team and stuff like that. I guess it's around the same thing, right?
Oh, well, you know, that's stupid. Offkai is by the fans, for the fans. Yes, it has roots in that, but it organically evolved into legitimate business networking. Not necessarily in front of the fans, but as an opportunity. Because, I mean, if the brand...
That makes sense, because everything... Oh, wait,
going to be there anyway. They might as well talk to each other, right? They're going to set up the booths. So they might as well, you know, have a dinner together. There are a lot of dinners. There are a lot of quiet room events. There's a lot of auditoriums and speeches and very scary conversations. Yes? A lot of places behind closed doors that are not orgies. The only orgies that happen are the one orgy where all the mid-level indie and low-level corpos get invited to because of one sick pervert. Now,
I imagine it's like Fifi or something.
My issue...
Well, actually, no. That would be wrong because Fifi is not mid-level. Well, actually, kinda. I think she is, actually. What is Fifi's Twitch? YouTuber Fifi Twitch. Is it just Fifi? Yeah. Twitch tracker. I'm not trying to pocket watch. I just want to be correct, right? So we're gonna figure it out. 1,000 viewers. So she's up there, right? She's definitely not a mid-level VTuber. Actually, it's compared to Iron Mouse. Iron Mouse is probably like the most. Oh wait, what about Nero? I don't know how to spell Nero. So she's a high level VTuber, right? I think it's like that. No, it's Beetle. Damn it. It's Beetle. I don't remember Beetle's numbers.
Typically stemmed this year, not from the fans, like a lot of people were thinking on Twitter and through Rima's video, but because of behind the scenes. I met a lot of VTubers that were very entitled in their position as a VTuber that is leaning into flesh tubing. So what I mean by that,
what does that
is
mean?
that there were a lot of VTubers this year, medium, small, large, that were almost bragging about how little actual VTubing they do.
Honestly, bro, I'm gonna be so dead ass. I don't blame the VTubers. Now it's their fault, but that's a two-way street. Because sure, the VTubers are the ones doing it, but it's also their fans and the people who are viewing them that essentially allow them to do it, right? Because without the fans, without people watching them, then why would they wouldn't have any incentive to do it? They wouldn't be like, oh, I'm just gonna do it and blah 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 blah, ha ha ha, I can get away with it. I think we've gotten too lenient, chat. That's what it is.
And how excited they are to start doing more flesh tubing on their VTubing stuff.
Oh,
and
hell
that really
no.
pissed me off. I'm no Puritan, but something about this Offkai forced me to really re-examine what it means to be a content creator in this space. And I think I've developed more sense of puritanicalism. What I'm upset about...
Like I said, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. I'm just going to watch my corpo slop, right? If like, I imagine this is like mid-level VTubers, like mid to low-level VTubers who are doing this. I'm not going to watch them, dog. I'm just not. I'd rather just watch FaZe Connect. You know what I'm saying? I bought a lot of FaZe Connect merch. I also got I got lucky. I forgot I have this Doki Bird sticker that has her little tomato in a sombrero with the Mexico flag and a taco. I forgot I have that. I absolutely love that sticker. But yeah, dude, I got lucky, and the guys at the FaZe booth, I guess it's because they're getting rid of their FaZeCon stuff. They gave me an extra Pippa medal card, so I have 2 of them, and then I have my Dizzy one and my and Big Sis UISA, which I love you.
Isn't that people want to live their lives and that people want to make content. It's the erosion of this very specific kind of content creation. You can flesh tube and you can do a damn good job of it and have an audience that's there for it and excited.
Us of another Dino suit cameo.
But once you do that one too many times, you do genuinely muddy the definition of what it is to VTube. To VTube is to have the character, right? And too much obfuscation of that, I personally don't like that. I think that...
I also don't like... Because here's the thing, right? I'm not going to go be a gacha content creator and then be like, hold on, this is probably not... Because it's not as in concrete as that, right? But I'm not going to go be a VTuber, not VTube, and then still call myself a VTuber. I wouldn't do that, right? Because if I wasn't going to VTube, I just wouldn't do it, right? I feel like it would be a lot easier for me to not VTube, especially me because I'm a male, right? But the thing that this does is it's going to cause people to assume that you don't have to actually commit and be as loyal. Is loyal the word? I don't know. I don't know what the word would be to represent, to fulfill a criteria that would allow you to, that would make you a VTuber, right? And God, I know this prick has never been around again, but that Joe Cat thing of, oh my God, we're eroding the original stuff of VTubing. Now people are no longer showing their face, or people are showing their faces, blah, blah, blah. That's always bothered me, right? And same with what Amelie said, where she's like encouraging people to show their faces and stuff like that. It bothers me, bro. Because it's like I'm in this medium, in this space for a reason, right? If I didn't want to do this stuff, I just wouldn't. If you weren't like the problem is that what this is doing is that it's causing people to come in here. There's less barrier to entry because at a certain point you don't even have to be a VTuber, right? You just have to show up or you just show up, ha guys, I'm a VTuber, and you never use your model, right? That's just like, it takes so much away from the people who really commit to this medium, right? And people are going to be like, oh, it's not that deep. Fine. You know what? If you want to watch it, you have your VTubers you want to watch. I have my VTubers I'm going to watch, right? I think a lot of this stems from like the Twitch culture and people on Twitch, and you're not going to catch me watching anybody on Twitch, bro. I'm just not. I hate that website. I'd rather just watch people on YouTube.
It also is a little insulting to your audience. Even the ones that really like the flesh tubing content. They came for one thing, and if you're subverting expectation too often, not even as a one-off gimmick, you shouldn't really be shocked when people get upset, right? If you're not giving people what they came for and they get upset by it, it is stupid to play dumb and act shocked that people are confused, right? And that's very different from, oh, well, you know, people should do whatever they want. If you're going to call yourself a VTuber, that's fine. But if you don't behave like a VTuber, audiences are going to notice and they're going to call you out on it. If you act shocked that you do not behave like a VTuber and you instead are just co-opting a label and you're sometimes using an avatar, you should not be blaming your audience. This is something that is very on the nose. This is what is on the label, what is on.
Wait, did she say blaming your audience? Wait, what's it?
You out on it. If you don't behave like a VTuber, audiences are going to notice and they're going to call you out on it. If you act shocked that you do.
Maybe it seems like I'm giving Bao too much leeway because we were originally talking about this because of the Bao situation. I think for Bao it's kind of fine because I honestly feel like she eased more into it because she was doing more IRL streaming and stuff like that. She just used her mask, right? And also, you know, the Bao the Human thing, dude, that was a missed opportunity. That's a huge. She could spread her brand like that. Honestly, that would have been a 200 IQ move, but. Again, she's done it for so long. If she moves to flesh tubing, I want to give it a pass because it's like she's been around, right? If you don't, it is totally fine. You could absolutely that's the thing, Chet. You could disagree with me. We're here to have a discussion right here. We're to talk. If you want to disagree with me, just I will hear you out. Do not worry.
Not behave like a VTuber and you instead are just co-opting a label and you're sometimes using an avatar, you should not be blaming your audience. This is something that is very on the nose. This is what is on the label, what is on the tin. This is like day zero. What is a VTuber? How do you define it? It's like going to a cooking channel and all they do is they talk politics and they don't cook. If you want to do things, be very open and clear about your intention and label yourself.
Yeah, you know who does that? Has been cold. Where's my $2 steak cooking videos, bro? No, just kidding.
Properly. If you mislabel yourself, you're pissing people off. Oh, but they have a chicken on the side. It counts, right? Oh, God, Callow. What disillusioned me was a lot of medium to large VTubers I met being very gleeful and very open about doing this shit on purpose and doing it for a reaction. There are a lot of disingenuous, slimy people there. If you're a VTuber watching me, your takeaway from this shouldn't be, ew, all skin is evil and bad. Your takeaway from this should be viscerally honest with your audience because they are.
I think it's like, I understand what she's saying, right? You gotta be. You don't have to 100% to commit to VTubing if you don't want to. You really don't. Just know that if people want to stop watching you because of what you were originally supposed to be, and you're not that anymore, they have every right to just leave you. They do. That's something that they could just do.
who you are.
Also, it sucks. Obviously, I'm not surprised, right? Like, people, the thing about it is, people want to, the type of people that are in entertainment, they're gonna get, like, you know, egos, and they're not gonna be what they are on camera and stuff like that, right? So I'm not really surprised to hear this is how some people are acting, like, behind closed doors, right? I'm really not.
Presenting for. If you're telling lies.
But maybe, I'm sorry, one more tangent. Maybe I'm just not surprised because I know about not even just this industry, but I've heard stories of, like, Hollywood industries and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm not exactly that surprised.
By God, at least tell your lies in character. Pick a lane, and if you're going to change lanes, make sure there's warning. Then there's the issue of OPSEC, operational security.
What?
Now, this was one of my big flaws at Offkai, unintentionally, because I was, doing my best to keep my voice down and to not call people over that might recognize me or the people I was around. But I had an issue with someone that I was with a lot of the time where they would ask me a question and I would excitedly respond because, yeah, you've got a question, I've got an answer. And then they would glare at me and then they would tell me to shut up and to not be so loud. And it's like, oh shit, am I too loud? I don't want to expose people.
Wait, what?
Or what we're talking about. Okay, I'll be quiet. But then it kept happening. And then even though I went quieter and quieter, it just kept happening to the point where it felt wrong. And then one of the days I was asked a question and I was very intentionally keeping mindfully my voice down. And this person asked me the question, wanted a response. I went to respond. And this person immediately told me frantically to shut up, to not talk at all.
What the fuck is happening? I am so lost.
Because even if I'm not too loud, my voice is too distinct. So if anybody heard me, I would dox the whole group as VTubers.
Oh,
and
right.
That really rubbed me the wrong way. We were like a 20-minute walk away from the convention center. We were a genuinely safe distance doing something where, I don't know, plausible deniability, right? At that point, that just really hurt. I kind of just grabbed my shit and I ran away crying. Talk about OPSEC. You guys want to hear about how I cried in public at Offkai?
Yeah,
I got
let's
humiliated
go.
for having a voice. I spoke with this person later and we cleared things up because they were, again, just very worried about operational security, and rightfully so. After you're a certain size, it is one of those things that you have to consider, and maybe I was in the wrong for running away and being upset because it was very personal feeling, but ultimately I was asking other people that knew us. I'm like, hey, this is what went down. What do you think? Was I crazy? Everybody I spoke to gave me a resounding yes! Yes, you're crazy! Don't talk! I actually brought my Midas costume that my mother made and had it in my suitcase, and I was going to wear it on the last day of Offkai because there were other big VTubers there cosplaying as themselves, and I thought, okay, this might be my...
Silverville did that. I remember. I met her again. Dude, she's the sweetest.
My only opportunity, because
I got to hug Mamaville too. She was also very sweet. They're very, very sweet.
Like I'm coming back to Offkai again.
Just sit quietly in the chair. Back.
Okay, sorry. I was supposed to stop and talk about this. Now I don't know what it's like for this, right? I don't know what it's like to be that big and stuff like that. I'm at a small enough point where I could even still have my name on my badge, right? Which I did. I put my name on my badge. You could put a little message at the bottom. I put sub to my YouTube and Twitch. I could still do stuff like that because no one cares who I am. And one of my friends who we were staying with, the only other streamer who was we were a group of like 10 and only 3 of us are streamers. The only other one that was a streamer, well, 4 of us. The only other one that was a streamer was like streaming at the con, right? So some of the VTubers were streaming at the con, and they were still pretty much left alone, right? But it might be just because of our sizes. So I don't know what that's like, right? But I guess I get that, right? Because it is, chat, I need you guys to understand, this is a small ass con. It is tiny. if you were, I use this example to hopefully kind of give people who have gone to this con a visual representation. I mean it when I say that the entirety of Offkai could just fit inside the exhibition hall at Anime Expo. It's that tiny. It really is. So I understand, and we're not bumper to bumper, right? We're not really closed in like that. But you could definitely hear people around you and hear people talking and stuff like that. Like when my friend wanted to meet a VTuber and she heard that she was there, she kind of found him immediately, right? Whereas at Anime Expo or even at TwitchCon, I had to get lucky, right? When I met Shy Lily, I had to get lucky. When I met, who did I meet at Anime Expo? When I met Cottontail at Anime Expo, it had to be luck. Right, because that is such a huge con. At Offkai, I feel like if you just walked around, you'll run into somebody you're gonna recognize. It's just tiny.
Okay.
I remember this was after all the OPSEC stuff. I'm just like, so what do you think, guys? You think it's okay to wear? It's just like, no, don't you dare wear that. And it's like, oh, I remember I called my mother and I started to cry. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't wear the thing that you made me. I'm too stupid and
Mama
loud.
Midas.
I'm too distinct. I've never had distinct feel like an insult before. But that really got me thinking. Again, because Offkai is for the fans. It's not for the VTubers themselves. They can perform there, but you're caught. You do shatter the illusion for people. And after that happened, I just started seeing floods of tweets of people going, oh my god, I saw a fan of mine, so I ran up to say hi, and they told me that they weren't a fan of mine anymore. And it's just like, I'm sitting there, and this is immediately after I got told off.
Okay, that shouldn't be funny, but that's pretty fucking funny. I'm sorry. That's not funny. Okay, that's wrong, but it's just such a 180 that it's kind of funny, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
For talking, and it's like, well, your fan wasn't in the wrong.
Yeah.
You aggressively approached them, and you.
I guess I'm in a position where I am also a content creator. Am I a huge one? No. But I'm at a point where I want to befriend other content creators, right? Like if I were to meet someone at a con and they're cool and they're just like talking to me, that's kind of cool. I met more people at Offkai through me wearing a Smug Alana shirt. Because there wasn't a lot of smug, there was zero. I meant zero. I went through booth to fucking booth every single day. There was none, zero Smug Alana merch. But I wore my Smug Alana shirt. And through that, I met like 3 people, 3 smugglers who also had on the shirt. And we just kept talking to each other because it's like, oh, dude, Smug Alana, blah, 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 blah. You know, I wish she was here, blah, 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 blah. And you know, I wish she had these artists would make more stuff about her and blah, blah, blah. And we just talked about Alana, right? I met like one of her fans who was there like at the beginning. He was super cool. So I met more people that way than people who knew me, which I'm not surprised, right? Because I imagine I would be more recognized at something at a gacha convention, or not a gacha convention, but a convention with like gacha booths than an anime, than an Offkai, right? I'm still like not well known in the VTubing space, and I'm banned off Twitter, so I can't be known that much. I can't go like huge and viral on Twitter or anything because I'm not there.
Sek is scary, so I get it. People either don't care at all like the flesh tuber fakers or go to insane levels of paranoia bordering on mental illness.
Yeah. The lesson I took away from that very upsetting incident was that I was genuinely in the wrong. It was kind of hysterical even. Because it really, at the end of the day, even though it felt personal, it's not. And even if it was personal, I spoke with the person and I'm coping that it isn't. I just saw such a disconnect. It's like if I, am in the position where I need to be quiet, all other VTubers really should be as well. I go online, I see people bitching about their fans hating them because they caught them at Offkai, and it's like, there's failings on two parts here. One, you stopped being a VTuber to them. So, they're upset because they non-consensually had the thing that they liked ruined. That's not their fault. But also, them acting so publicly upset at you for being at a VTuber convention, a convention known for VTubers being there, especially when they publicly post about it all the time. He kind of should have kept that shit to himself and just stopped showing up to your streams. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
it's one of those inside.
It's really funny, but if you're gonna make a whole thing about it, I do want to say, if you're gonna make a whole thing about it as a fan, I just don't, right? Just let it go. Don't let it go. I'm saying don't make it a spectacle, right? Just leave. That's totally fine. You're not in the wrong either. You might not be perfectly in the right. I feel like some things you gotta let go, especially at a con. For VTubers, you might expect a VTuber to be there, but I get it, right? I get it.
Voice moments. So I prefer a pilot actor technician distinction from the VTuber. Well, that's the thing. There's VTubers out there that have secondary jobs that are very flesh forward, but they're also public, They have a non-VTuber identity, and they keep them very separate, but because the public knows that they're both connected, they get the
That's genuine mental illness
treatment.
If you don't think there's a real person behind a VTuber.
It's not that they don't think there's a real person behind the VTuber, it's just they were given a character, and a lot of VTubers don't make enough distinction between the character and themselves.
I think it is the loss of kayfabe that is causing this kind of confusion, and it's causing people to be in positions where they're gonna get caught easily, and two, be what's the word I'm looking for? It'll be easy to break the illusion of who you are if you're just acting like yourself. Is it bad? No, it's not bad. You should be yourself. You should be completely honest with your fans. But I think kayfabe was good for that illusion, right? It's kind of like old wrestling, which is why I always equate VTubing to like wrestling, because it's essentially the same thing. They also had kayfabe, right? If you go meet Hunter in person, well, Hunter's probably not the right person. If you go if you go meet Taker in person, he's not going to be like that, oh, rest in peace. He's going to be a Texas guy. He's going to be in there, hey, what's going on, man? He's going to be like, you're going to see that he's a southern good old boy. And that's what you're going to meet. But you're not going to get that distinction, or that's going to be a shock to you, because he plays a character on stage. He plays The Undertaker. Slow moving, slow talking, completely scary. He's gonna be that, but that's the beauty of kayfabe. I feel like kayfabe needs to come back like hard, right? Which I wouldn't mind doing kayfabe. You know what I want to do? I haven't done it in a while. I haven't dropped a promo in a while. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean, chat? I want to be out here. I want to be out here with a microphone and I want to make it well known to the people of Madison Square Garden that we are going to the top because the kid is here for the people. We are going to be champion this Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. That would be kind of funny. I need to start dropping promos again.
So they present themselves in reality, not as the person who plays the character, but as the character. So they are mentally replacing what they've built.
I thought she was gonna say it. You thought she was gonna say it. Don't look at me.
It's in someone else's head about themselves. Midas, you're being too loud. I'm not gonna lie. The rest of the con,
so wrong,
I found it
bro.
really hard to talk at all.
That's even so wrong. That sounds. I get it. I do. That's so messed up, bro. I couldn't do it. I would just tell my friends, "Fuck you, bro. I don't care if I get caught. Like I'm not gonna be held down like that."
The industry events and mixers, I was just so hurt.
Fillion, is that you?
Shut the fuck up. Sorry you went through that. Hope you can recover some. It is what it is, man. I'm fine. If anything, I learned a very
Vtubers
valuable lesson
simultaneously
from it.
have the worst and most paranoid OPSEC known to man that I feel it's being done on purpose to suck me into being more open.
Do you have any non-VTuber friends you could have gone with? Just let loose and have fun? I'm gonna be honest. No, because before VTubing, I had no friends. No, but the reason I went to Offkai in the first place was because I went...
Which is crazy, because I'm VTubing and I still have no friends.
With the job, right? Going to Offkai was for business. I still spend a lot of my own money.
Wait, really?
But without my job financing a lot of it, I would not have gone. And honest to God, I don't think I am ever going to go to Offkai again. Just...
I'm not gonna go. I don't know when I would go again, but I'm not gonna go just because the con's kind of shit, bro. That con sucks.
Straight up. Both socially, it was a humiliation ritual.
Although I might go if my friends go, right? It'll be a nice vacation to hang out with them.
And financially,
for me,
it was rape.
Huh!
I do up here.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Jesus.
Here at a con in the future, it'll be on a robot or it'll be at a booth.
I wish I could
where
be on
I
a robot.
belong.
That'd be kind of cool. I would really like to be on one of those things. I think it's really, really cool. But chat, it's what it is, right? It is what it is. This whole flesh tubing thing is it's interesting, chat. Let me know you guys for calling, subscribe. I'll catch you gamers in the next one. Bye.